I have over 7 years of experience in the data analytics field. I have worked for companies like Deloitte, Amazon, AWS, and right now I'm working for a AI scale-up. And over the past 7 years, I've used so many different data analytics tools. The goal of this video for me is to show you a very comprehensive view of all the tools that are really important right now. It can be very overwhelming if you are starting your journey in data analytics and also data science, because there are a lot of tools out there. And so in this video, I will make sure to cover exactly what you must know of all of these tools, so that moving forward, you're going to recognize all of these logos, names, and you will have a better understanding of what's going on. And by the way, if you're starting now your journey in data analytics, you should know that all of these tools are pretty much what we cover in my Analytics and Automation Academy. It is a 6-week program, and the goal is simple. I will follow you on a one-to-one basis until you land a job. We cover tools like Excel, SQL, Tableau, and Python. We build 4 projects with all of these tools so that you have a data portfolio ready for job applications. I'm going to also teach you AI agents, which is a skill set that is booming right now. And we're going to cover also the domain knowledge that you're interested in. So you can think of things like finance, marketing, sales, and operations. Applications are now open. And if you're interested in checking it out and applying, the link is in the video description. Now, without further ado, let's see all the data analytics tools that you should be aware of right now. The plan is very simple. We're going to cover programming languages, data visualization tools, databases, but also things that are more interesting for machine learning tasks and also data engineering as well. Okay, so let's start by checking out the Data Analyst Toolkit and this comprehensive guide that I made. So let's start with programming languages. By the way, I just realized that I had the great idea not to put the names on these tools. So we only have the logos. So it's going to be a good exercise for me to remember all of these logos. In this case, I think it's pretty simple. So let's start with the programming languages. You see here a comprehensive view of all the programming languages that you can think of within the data analytics space. Obviously, the first one that you see is Python is definitely the most popular programming languages for data analytics. Python, you have to consider that is nice to have programming language and skill set for data analyst. Is definitely something that is more popular for roles like data scientists and data engineers, but it can be used by data analysts as well. Why super popular? Just because there is a huge amount of libraries. We're going to see those in just a second, but there is a huge amount of libraries that you can use, and so it makes it super easy to work in different domains. There is a huge community, so a lot of people online using Python as well, which makes it pretty easy for you to kind of debug your errors and kind of also understand from other people in the community what's the best approach for your problems. The second programming language that you see here is R. So this is also another programming language that is pretty popular for data analysts and data scientists, but I would say that this is way more popular in case you are working in the academic field. So if you work a lot with research papers and this kind of stuff that maybe require a lot of statistics, this is definitely a programming language that works very well with statistics. And for this reason, it kind of becomes a bit more of a niche programming language that you can still use, but definitely less popular than Python. So my recommendation, if you have to choose between the two, I would definitely go with Python because it's more versatile, more popular, and allows you to work on different tasks at the same time. Then what I have here is SQL. I think it's pretty interesting that I cannot find a logo for SQL. I see different logos online, so I'm not sure why that is the case. SQL is actually not really a programming language, but actually this acronym stands for Structured Query Language. And it's basically the language that you have to learn in case you want to interact with a database, which is a task that is very common for data analysts, probably even more popular for data analysts compared to Python. So definitely something that you should have in your skill set if you're working within data analytics. I also included here something that maybe you never seen before, but there is another programming language called Julia. Julia was created by some statisticians, so it's also similar compared to R because it's mainly used for statistics. It's way less popular compared to Python and R. Definitely not something that I recommend starting with, but just for you to be aware, if you need a programming language for any reason that is way more performing in terms of speed, for example, Julia might be a good option. And there are some people out there using Julia for different tasks. Pretty comprehensive view of all the kind of languages that you should know as part of a data analytics role. Now let's move to the next category, and here the thing that I mentioned just now is I want to cover the main Python libraries for data analysis. Before I cover the Python libraries, I actually want to explain this concept to you, because a lot of people don't really know what libraries are. Let me try to explain with an example. So let me write in here, probably in black. But let's take an example of calculating the average between numbers. If I want to calculate the average between 1, 2, and 3, the simple formula that I can use is 1 plus 2 plus 3, and then I close brackets divided by 3, right? So this will give us the average between these three numbers. But at the same time, when we use, for example, probably you're familiar with Excel, when we use Excel, instead of creating our formula ourselves, we have the function average. So I can simply do in Excel average, and then in brackets I can do 1, 2, and 3, and then close brackets, and this will give me the average of these three numbers. Very simple idea here, but I'm using this concept just to explain to you exactly the roles of Python libraries as well. Instead of you creating functions from scratch, there were other people that created those functions for you, and so you can reuse these functions while coding in Python. And that is exactly what makes Python super popular, because, as I said, you're going to save a lot of time and use basically all of these tools that other people create for you. Let's start with the first one. So here I'm going to struggle a bit with the logos, so let me try to remind myself. So this is definitely NumPy. NumPy is super good for numerical operations mainly. Provides you with what is called n-dimensional array objects, and these are objects that are made specifically for numerical operations, and it makes it very performing very well with large data sets. And not many people know that a lot of other libraries, famous libraries in Python, are based on this NumPy library. The other library that is definitely super important is Pandas. Pandas is amazing for things like data manipulation, because it has very high performance, super easy to use with data structure that is called data frame. Also very good for things like data cleaning, in general working with structured tabular data. So you can think of similar to what we have in spreadsheets. This other logo that you see here is what is called matplotlib, and this is a library that is super powerful for very simple data visualizations. You can build visualizations using Python code. Is not the easiest and most straightforward thing to do, because there is a lot of different syntax going on depending on which chart you want to create and how you want to format it and personalize it. But matplotlib is definitely a very popular library for data visualization within Python. Then you have another one that is called Seaborn. So Seaborn is specifically useful for statistical visualization. So if I well remember, is built on top of matplotlib, give you basically a high-level interface for drawing very attractive and informative statistical graphics. The other thing that you see here, a bit less popular, but I find it super nice, is what is called Plotly or Dash. And this is a library that is made for you to create very interactive visualizations in Python. This is something that I really like, because you can create interactive web-based visualization that can be, for example, zoomed in, or maybe you can hover over the mouse and see kind of the different details of this visualization that you create. So I definitely recommend checking this out. Not many people are familiar and aware of this, but I found it, as I said, super useful and powerful for a bit more advanced data visualizations within Python. The other thing that you see here is called scikit-learn. This is by far the most popular library for any machine learning tasks. So it has a super comprehensive library for various machine learning tasks like classification, regression, clustering, model selection, and basically any algorithm that you can think of, you should be able to find it in scikit-learn. The only kind of cons of this tool is that it is not really made for deep learning. If you want to do machine learning at a more advanced level and actually doing more things that are related to deep learning, then this is definitely not the right tool to use. You can use things like TensorFlow or PyTorch. I haven't put this here because this is not really the remit of a data analyst, but scikit-learn, in case you are a data analyst and you want to perform like easy machine learning tasks, that's the library that you should use. Let's move on to the next category. You probably are familiar with these tools, and these are spreadsheet softwares. We have here the old but gold Microsoft Excel. So that's the the spreadsheet tool that pretty much 90% of people in a company are familiar with and are using, unfortunately. So that's still the tool that I definitely recommend you to master in case you are working in data analytics. And also you have the kind of the cloud-based version of Google, which is Google Sheet, which actually is becoming way more powerful now because there is a lot of AI functions that you can use within Google Sheet. I'm actually thinking to make a video about this, a more detailed video on how to use AI within Google Sheet. In case you're interested, make sure to leave a comment down below. That would be a note for me to make this type of video. Let's move on category number 4, which is about data visualization tools. So I think you will recognize the first 2 logos. So these are definitely the most popular 2 data visualization tools for data analysts. So the first one is Tableau, and the second one is by Microsoft. That's Microsoft Power BI. By far, these are the 2 most popular ones. But I also seen in different organizations, in my experience, a lot of companies are working with Looker, which is the data visualization tool by Google. So you can think of, a company that bought already the kind of the Google suite of products like, Google BigQuery or Google Cloud in general. They will try to probably save money and use Google Looker because that's usually within the same package. Another tool that is definitely less common is Qlik. I think it's called QlikSense. That's the full name. I personally never used it. I've seen it mentioned somewhere in like previous past projects that I was working on, not directly though. Let's move on to category number 5, which are the AI tools for data analysis. So I think this is pretty interesting, and all of these tools are pretty new. The first one is Julius AI. I absolutely love this tool. It's definitely a tool that I recommend because it can really speed up your data analytics workflow. It's usually not used by big companies, but for your personal projects, it's definitely something that you can check out. I actually made another tutorial video in my channel about Julius because they reached out to me, and I loved like collaborating with them because that's generally a tool that I would recommend. So in case you're interested, make sure to check it out in my YouTube channel. Then we have another set of tools like H2O.ai and Data Robot. These are mainly tools that allows you to use machine learning and performing machine learning tasks in a very automated way. So, using AI to help you in this machine learning workflow. Even if you don't have like a machine learning expertise, you may want to check out these tools that will help you to still perform machine learning tasks. Here I also put the Google Cloud logo because there are a lot of AI tools within the Google Cloud interface that you can use for data analysis. And then I put here SpaceEye and Hugging Face. I put these 2 here just because they are common in NLP as NLP tools. So in case you do any tasks related to natural language processing, those can be very good for analyzing unstructured text data. And also I put here generative AI tools that maybe are good for data exploration. So we have, it can be ChatGPT, just uploading a file there, or it can be also Gemini from Google. And I think this gives you a bit of an idea of the AI tools that are becoming a bit more popular for data analysis right now. Let's move on to category number 6. I'm definitely gonna struggle here with logos. So here we have data connectors, ETL and also ELT tools. So the first one I'm very familiar with because I use it pretty much on a weekly basis. This is Fivetran, and is basically an amazing tools that allows you to connect with a lot of data sources that you can think of. So, you can connect to things like, Shopify or your Facebook ads or your Google Analytics. So many integration depending on the app that you're using, and you can use Fivetran to transfer that data into your database. I also partner with them for a video tutorial that you can find in my YouTube channel in case you're interested. Again, I love this tool. I use it pretty much on a weekly basis. So that's definitely a strong recommendation for me in case you want to check it out. And then I'm going to cover the other ones very quickly, simply because I heard them in the industry, but I haven't used them that much. So we have here Stitch, and then we have Airbyte, and also Talent and Microsoft SQL Server Integration Services. So these are other tools that you may want to check out for ETL and ELT. As I said, I haven't used them that much. I use the Fivetran just because it's super easy to use, and they basically do the heavy lifting for you. They are already having this kind of schemas and table available no matter which kind of platform and system you're connecting to, so that you can get data from those systems and put them in your database. Let's move on to category number 7. And here we have data warehouses and databases. What you see here is basically all those data warehouses and databases that are very good for your structured data. And so you have things like Google BigQuery, which is the one that I'm using right now. When I was at Amazon, I was using Amazon Redshift. Then we have Snowflake, that's another very popular one, and also Databricks as well. These four are probably the most popular ones used in, big companies, enterprises. I've seen Oracle as well, but way less than the first, the big four. And then also what I included here is MySQL. So MySQL is popular just because it's open source and free, especially useful if you want to practice SQL, for example, if you want to create a simple database for your own projects. That's definitely an application that you can use in your own time. Now, something that I want to clarify here about data warehouses and databases, it's not making a big difference for you which data warehouse and database you use, simply because the language that you use when you are interacting with these databases is SQL. And so basically what you have to consider here is that as long as you know SQL and you have that kind of skill set, then you're going to be able to, use SQL within Google BigQuery, within Amazon Redshift, within Snowflake or Databricks. There is no difference between that. The interface will change slightly, but SQL will be the same for all of these tools. Let's move on to category number 8, which is data pipeline and orchestration tools. What these two tools allows you to do is to basically automate and manage your data pipelines and flow of data. First one is called dbt, which stands for Data Build Tool. Again, this is a tool that I use actually on a daily basis. The cool thing about this tool is that it uses Ginger, which is very similar to SQL, to basically allow data analysts to create data pipelines and different data models so that they can transform the data and make it ready for analysis and insights discovery. The stuff about dbt that I really love is data lineage. So basically you can see exactly the lineage of all the data that you have. You can kind of zoom out and see the full picture of where the data is coming from, how you transform the data, and what's the end result. And the other super popular tool for data pipelines, orchestration, more kind of data engineering tasks is definitely Apache Airflow. Similarly, this tool allows you to define, schedule, and monitor data pipelines, but in this case, you will use Python instead of SQL. So in case you're interested about more data engineering tasks, these are definitely tools that are super popular in the market right now. Now let's move on to category number 9, which is version control. So these are tools that are super important for collaborative work and also tracking changes in huge code repositories and data. First one is Git. So super popular, is basically giving you this feature which is distributed version control. Allows every developer to have a complete history of the project, enabling offline work and flexible branching as well. And it is industry standard, so it's the most widely used version control system for software development, but at the same time is used by data engineers and data analysts as well, in case they have these tasks to change data pipelines and make changes to the repository of all the data models available in the company. GitHub is the cloud-hosted repository, so it's basically a centralized platform for hosting Git repositories. So you will see a lot of the times these two tools together, and it offers features like pull request, issue tracking, code review, and project management. The other stuff that I haven't used myself, but sometimes I hear in the industry is DVC, so data version control, extend Git capabilities to version control large data files and also machine learning models. These two, I would definitely recommend checking those out. GitHub also allows you to store your portfolio of projects. It can be your digital resume as well. So that's also an interesting feature. But version control, it's pretty important, especially if you work more in a coding with coding tasks and also massive teams that have to collaborate together. Now let's move on to category number 10, which is integrated development environments, or with the acronym IDEs, and notebooks. I see already a very scary logo, so let me cover that last. But what we have here is basically the environments that you can use for writing, running, and debugging code. So definitely the most popular one is Visual Studio Code. That's the environment that I use on a daily basis right now as a data analytics lead. I love this tool just because there's a lot of integrations with other tools that you can add to your coding environment. So for example, it has an integration with Git, with GitHub, with Google BigQuery, and so many more, even like AI tools as well. Then we have Jupyter, which is actually very good in case you are working, for example, on your own projects for learning or for your portfolio. That's a very nice tool because it's actually a notebook. So that means that it combines code, but also outputs like plots and tables and markdown text in a single document. So it's kind of a mix of, coding, but also kind of a text formatting. You can visualize your findings and your charts, everything in the same document. So that's an environment. So that's pretty cool. And that's the similar idea of Google Colab, something that I love because you literally don't have to install anything in your machine. You simply run it in your browser. So that's a perfect environment for you to get started very, very quickly. And so within this environment, you're probably going to work with Python. That's kind of the main thing that you can do as a data analytics professional. Then we have RStudio, which is the gold standard IDE for R programming. So if you use R, you're probably going to use RStudio. And then the last one, the scary one, is actually called Spider. I never use Spider, but when you download Anaconda which is kind of a system that you have to download in your laptop for in order to use Jupyter, you will also see the Spider as a different option. So yeah, not super popular, but I think it's also a nice logo to have in this combination. And there you have it, a simple, comprehensive view of all the tools that are popular right now in the world of data analytics. Hopefully this helped you to navigate through all of this overwhelming knowledge, and ideally these also help you to understand what is important for you right now in your career journey. And as I said at the start, most of these tools are what we cover in my Analytics and Automation Academy. So if you're interested in joining, make sure to check the link in the video description. I will also leave here in the screen another video that I made that the YouTube algorithm thinks that you might be interested in. And well, enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now, and see you in the next one.